some interesting things that I picked out because, I mean, we could talk to him for like 2 hours about, every player listed. But your top 5 quarterbacks, Stroud, Young, Levis, McKee from Stanford, and Anthony Richardson, top 5 quarterback. So what do you think about that?
Well, that means that there's not really a super deep quarterback class.
Not a great deep class, no.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson has shown some flashes with his legs, but not yet with his arm. He's thrown a little bit too many interceptions, but I would love Anthony Richardson to just play for 1 year and leave. That would be great.
Yeah.
Good for you, Gators. Way to go. I think that'd be interesting. Interesting that he'd have Tyler Van Dyke in there. But Anthony Richardson has that kind of, Cam Newton-esque potential because he's a big dude who can run. He's got a big, strong arm, but, does he know where it's going to go when he throws it? I think that is what Billy Napier and the coaching staff have to work with him on.
Where is Stanford in the and maybe Plunkett back in the 60s, and obviously most recently you had Luck. Where are no, I was talking from one end to the other, and in between, where are they when it comes to like not quarterback you, but in that discussion?
I think they have like one per generation.
Yeah, and I don't even know really what that discussion is even right now. The best players from Tech, but all their other quarterbacks have been bust, basically, or not even bust, have just not even big enough to be considered a bust. Their other most famous quarterback is the head coach of the Cardinals, and he didn't have a prolific NFL career by any means. So, the best player doesn't come from a quarterback factory pro-wise necessarily. And then, you got like Alabama guys scattered around. You got... I don't know, though. I don't know, who would be quarterback you right now.
From Stanford right now, Davis Mills is the starter with the Texans. They had a stretch of guys.
We'll see how he does, yeah.
He's a starter for one of the teams.
He is.
John Brody from way back in the day. Plunkett, we mentioned. Elway. It just seemed like and Andrew Luck, which just never materialized because of many things. But it just seemed like they have had more than that. But most of them, I think, were between Brody, Plunkett, and then Elway, and then it kind of shut down. Of course, Luck was supposed to be the perfect quarterback, and he hasn't been. Kevin Hogan, nope, nothing there. Guy Benjamin, Steve Dills, just curious. That's why I asked the question, and I don't see anyone else who's really kind of even touched the NFL. All right, go ahead back to your list as well.
Yeah, running backs, Bijan, Zach Evans, Devin Achane. I mean, the top 3 guys are Texas guys. Yeah. Even though only, I guess, you got A&M in Texas here as well, so 2 of them play, but one of them outside of the state, and Zach Evans now at Ole Miss. Jamir Gibbs, obviously a lot of hype for him in Alabama this year. I mean, what a pickup through the transfer portal that's going to end up being maybe the Heisman Trophy winner when all is said and done potentially for Alabama. So that's interesting. I mentioned Smith and Jigba and Johnston as far as 2 of the top 3 receivers. Jordan Addison at number 4. Almost thought about asking Dane about him, but I know we'll have him on again. But Jordan Addison at number 4 is interesting. Josh Downs, number 5 there. What was a couple other things that I saw here?
A couple big tight ends in there, yeah.
Yeah, the tight ends.
You got from Notre Dame's like a monster, isn't he?
Yeah, Michael Mayer, Eric Gilbert, Tucker Kraft from South Dakota State, Darnell Washington from Georgia, and Sam Laporta from Iowa. They're tight ends, but I was looking for like Texas ties. Layden Robinson from A&M, number 1 interior O lineman. Cooper Beebe from K-State, number 3 interior lineman. And you got SEC filling out the rest there. Tyree Wilson, number 4 edge rusher from Texas Tech. Behind Will Anderson, Nolan Smith from Georgia, and Isaiah Foskey from Notre Dame. But Tyree Wilson is like the one guy that you can kind of guarantee from Tech will get drafted. He's possibly high, possibly pretty high for him. So, Ika at number 3, that's interesting, and good to hear Dane give some comments on him. And I think that was kind of it. I was just kind of looking for players. Antonio Johnson is number 1 safety, Texas A&M. So that's interesting to see as well. And a lot of SEC flavor there with Brian Branch and Jordan Battle from Bama being top 5 guys, and Jalen Catalon from Arkansas as well. So, yeah, it's cool to see this early on. I mean, it'll shift a little bit, but a lot of Texas flavor, a lot of SEC flavor, a little sprinkling of Big 12 in there as well from kind of all over the league. But excited to see Ika. I didn't see Galvin from Baylor, and that's what's interesting is he's talking about how kind of the O-line class or the tackles are. And you would think Galvin would be right on the verge of that top 5, but he he can go and have a big season and certainly prove that and put himself there.
It'd be a top 5, but still be like 63.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the reasons he's back is he didn't like what he heard, and he felt a little disrespected by the evaluators and wanted to prove like, hey, you're wrong about me. I'm ready to go.
The DA, you're right. Brigham Young. They just put Zach Wilson. Of course, he's injured right now, and then Jaron Hall is a stud. Baylor's going to see him again in week number 2, plus their history of all the other quarterbacks they've sent to the NFL. And Oklahoma gets kind of overlooked.
Yeah, they'd probably be right now quarterback U or right there at the top of that because of just the draft success, the Heisman Trophy winners, and kind of done it regularly. But now the guy who's been doing that's gone. So, how does that – because they would have for sure – I mean, Caleb Williams would have joined Mayfield and Murray and, the growing list of star quarterbacks. Rattler was supposed to be that guy, and obviously is not going to be that guy. Caleb Williams would have been that guy, but he's not going to be that guy. So now it's, I guess, on the shoulders of, the new era. But, yeah, certainly Riley was building them up to be quarterback U,
Look, Caleb Williams he can't go to the draft this year because he's a true sophomore. But in the draft this year, you could also have, 2 guys who have brushed with Lincoln Riley and Tanner Mordecai and Spencer Rattler, who both transferred out. So he'll have his fingers in the pie of a couple different guys, even though they're not, they're well removed from him now, being in their new spots. But yeah, he's still gonna. Lincoln Riley's quarterback magic might get them a little bit of a month, because I think, especially Rattler, because he has measurables. There's going to be a coach out there that thinks they can.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's not going by any means going to be like undrafted or a 7th round pick or anything. No. He might be just one of those guys who's a better pro than he is a college quarterback.
That could happen
that's possible.
Purdue used to be the cradle with Greasy and Len Dawson, Mike Phipps, Mark Herman, Jim Everett, Drew Brees, of course, most recently.
One of the things I wonder about Rattler too was last year, because clearly his whole goal in life is to be in the NFL. Did last year feel like too long, like 1 year too long for him? And like you can feel that if you're on the team with him, where he thought like maybe I should already be gone. Like, do I want to do this?
How many years has he been in the college? What's his?
He's only been in for a couple years.
Yeah, but I'm saying for him, a guy who has he had a reality show, and
I'm already bored with this.
He's already bored with it.
Well, if that's the case, they'll find that out, and that will hurt his draft. And again, you're just saying that.
That's a theory. That. Yeah, I don't know. Because it was amazing to me because he wasn't terrible. He was just so blah. And that was what was so weird about it. Like, he regressed to the middle.
Yeah, but, when people talk about him, they're not talking about, like, really his performance. They're talking about his arm talent and the way he can throw the football. And, like, they're not – for these scouts, I'm not going to pretend to be one of them, but I understand what you mean. But they're also looking at other things. And that's why, like I said, I think he might be just more of that pro ideal than he is a college quarterback. And – that'll work out for him, I'm sure. But, yeah, he's not going to be a low draft pick or anything like that. He's got too much arm talent once again.
Ohio State, when he mentioned this, and this is something that he mentioned in his article with Smith and Jigba, 95 catches for 1,600 yards and 9 scores. He had Garrett Wilson and Olave. They're both in the NFL. Did he have the 95 catches? 25 more than Wilson. He played 2 more games. And also 30 more than Olave, who played in 2 less games, but had like 600 more yards than both of them. They scored 12 and 13 touchdowns. He scored 9. His average per catch was 16.9. Were his numbers he's a great player. What will his numbers be like this year with Wilson and Olave gone, knowing Ohio State in every position group is loaded and stacked from 1 to 5? But that'll be interesting to see what his numbers are like. But he put up monster numbers and kind of overshadowed it. Had the great bowl game.
He had a really great last few weeks of the season. That's really like why he had that separation. If you look at like the last month of the season, like every game he had double-digit catches. How often is that for a wide receiver? Like that never happens. So just go look back at like the last 5 games of Ohio State's 2021. He may have put
up half his catches. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that he probably did. But, I think that's where a lot of the separation came in is just what he did down the stretch. 15 catches, 11 catches, 10 catches, 15 catches. That's 4 of his last 5 games. Yep. He had double digits. So, yeah.
All right. And
2 of those, 15 for 240 against Nebraska. 15 for 347 against Utah in the bowl game. So, like, that's 500 yards in 2 of the last 5 games alone.
Yeah, he was a beast down the stretch for them. Burke Magnus for ESPN